Good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Evan Freeman. I am the Vice President of Government and Community Relations for EPB, and also have the pleasure of serving on the board for the Chattanooga Chamber. Also, there is a DJ here that is going to cue music, and I'm going to do karaoke for the next 45 minutes. Completely joking. I would like to thank everybody for joining us tonight to celebrate, just to look back at the incredible year for the Chattanooga Area Chamber. And we really want to think about what's up ahead, so we look forward to hearing from the fearless leader tonight. This great work wouldn't be possible without our great partners. I would like to thank you to who I'm biased, by the way, our presenting sponsor, EPB. Our platinum sponsor, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Our gold sponsors, Chattanooga Airport, Chattanooga Whiskey, First Horizon Bank, Food City, Pinnacle Financial Partners, PNC Construction, Opella, Truist, Unum, and Volkswagen of Chattanooga. One more round of applause. Thank you all. At EPB, we're proud to support the Chamber. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life across our community, whether that's through delivering reliable energy, providing the fastest internet in the world, offering award-winning customer service, or delivering commercial solutions that help businesses thrive. Everything we do is rooted in supporting the people and the companies who call Chattanooga home. As we look to the future, we see incredible opportunities, partnerships, and continued economic growth. And with the Chamber's leadership and this community spirit, and I love the vibe in the room. It's really great. Everybody's here to network and just partner with each other. We're going to go a long way here in Chattanooga. I would just like to leave you with the grid is strong, the fiber is fast, and when quantum goes mainstream, Chattanooga will already be plugged in. Thank you for allowing us to serve alongside you. Next, I would like to call up to the stage the Chamber and President. But first, many people wouldn't recognize him tonight. Somebody's like, I haven't seen Charles tonight. And the reason being is because he's wearing a tie. This is a person that wouldn't even wear a tie to their own funeral, but he's wearing one tonight for you all. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Charles Wood, CEO. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. And I'm mic'd up a bit. I'm gonna do my best to say a few things and a few thanks. First and foremost, I've got to say thank you to my wife, Angie, who gives me a ton of support and puts up with all kinds of evening things, so thank you for that. And y'all are gonna hear a little bit from our past chair, Jay Dale, who was a tremendous supporter for me and for this organization over the last year as past chair, and so appreciate everything that he has done for this organization, how hard he's leaned in around opportunity and kind of building opportunity in the community. And then have a great opportunity to work with Brad Cobb. And so Brad is bringing a ton of energy. We generally have our update meetings at about 7:30 at night after he's worked a full day and he's done a bike ride. If you know him, he races. And then we meet at 7:30. So lots of energy, and he gets an extra 2 hours worth of work out of me that he probably wouldn't have gotten. So clearly a very smart business guy. We have a few other board officers in the room. So we have, I think Dahlia Qualls-White with Blue Cross is here. So she is our treasurer this year. And then Dr. Ashford with Chattanooga State is here. She is our incoming chair for next year. So excited to have her here in the room. And then Todd Womack is serving as our board secretary. So really excited to have a great slate of officers. We have an incredible board. If you're a current board member, if you would just stand up for a minute and let us recognize you. I want to thank our board members that are here in the room. And we've got some past board members, and I want to thank them, but I also want to thank our past board chairs. So I know I didn't take notes, but I know Mike St. Charles is here. I know Tom Glenn is here. I think we may have a few others, but I don't know who's out there. So I do want to thank our past board chairs. We have had an incredible slate of leadership that's helped lead our organization. And so want to thank them for all their work. And of course, want to thank our members. We have a number of elected officials in the room. We're so excited to have y'all. I think you know this, but when it comes to economic development, when it comes to creating opportunity in our community, we are highly reliant on having great elected leadership in our community, and we've been blessed with it for a long time. And so tonight we have Senator Bo Watson, who is chair of the Senate Finance Committee in the room. We have Senator Gardenhire, who's also chairs Judiciary Committee. I think we have Representative Greg Vital here. We're excited to have him, and then Representative Michelle Renault. So our state delegation is here in force. If y'all would give them a round of applause. I know a lot of people look to what happens in Washington as what's going on, but the reality for us is what happens in Nashville is incredibly important to Chattanooga, and we have great leaders there, so honored to have them here. We also have a number of county commissioners, Commissioner Jeff Eversole, who just finished 2 years as chair, is here, so thank you so much for being here, Commissioner. We also have Commissioner Chip Baker, Commissioner Steve Highlander, Commissioner Warren Mackey is here, and Commissioner Joe Graham. So if you would give our county friends a hand. I've spent a lot of time in front of that elected body, and most of the time, and I told both mayors this early on, I said, you're gonna see me a lot. Every time you see me, I'm gonna be asking for something. Just know it's probably not for me, it's for something else. And so it's gonna be for something bigger. And they've been phenomenal supporters of the chamber and of economic development and creating opportunity in the community. We also have a few representatives here. I think we have one representative for both Mayor Wamp and Mayor Kelly at least are here, as well as representatives from Senator Blackburn's office and Congressman Chuck Fleischman's office. So if y'all would give them a round of applause as well. So nothing happens with this organization without partnerships, and really our focus, and I'm gonna repeat a little bit of what you heard from me last year, which is talk a bit about our purpose and a bit about how we execute on that purpose through our mission. And so this is a pretty simple purpose, right? We exist to build a thriving Chattanooga, and that sounds simple. And when I say Chattanooga, it's really the Chattanooga region, right? We're not just thinking about city limits. But that purpose of building a thriving Chattanooga has been what we have focused on for 138 years. So there's a lot of history here. And I would tell you, we probably haven't always done the best job we could have done. But I would say that purpose still rings true. It was true in 1887, as true as it is today. And we do that by executing on this mission, right? We champion our member businesses and we promote regional economic growth. And so sometimes growth is a challenging word, and we're working through that right now in our community. But I know we have leadership that's here that understands that growth also means opportunity. It means challenges, but it means opportunity. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the successes we've had, some of the work we've been doing over the last year. I'm going to share some successes, and I'm going to share a little bit of data. So I'm sorry, but we're going to share a little bit of data because we are a business organization. And I'm going to ask some questions, and as I ask questions, they're going to get harder. And so bear with me on those and be thinking about it. But my hope is that you'll be thinking about these questions both when you're at the bar afterwards, because this is kind of the timeshare sales speech. But you'll be asking those questions at the bar and thinking about them, and you'll be thinking about them tomorrow when you wake up. So over the last year, on the champion member side, we've done a few things. One is we worked to consolidate our councils. I think most of you know we had 12 councils, 11 of those geographic. We shrank those to 9. It was a little bit like making hamburger from sacred cows. So if something exists, somebody is a fan of it. And so we know that was hard. But we did it to free up resources, right? We needed to free up some staff resources. And out of that, we launched a new council that is strictly for business owners. So if you're a business owner in this room, the concept behind that council is it is curated. It is meant to be a peer group of only owners, generally speaking, $1 million in revenue or more. If you're interested in kind of being a part of that, it's a pretty powerful group. I'm going to have Ben Karn's email address up here, who's our Vice President of Membership, at the end of this presentation. Shoot him an email, tell him you're interested, and we can work through an application process. We did a session this week with a group of 3 incredible business leaders in town. And so one of the founders of Steam Logistics spoke, James Wingard with Wingard Quality Supply, which does work with Volkswagen, but a host of other OEMs across the country. And then Richard Kennedy, who leads 5-Star Break Time Solutions. So these are folks who built companies that have generated millions of dollars in revenue a year, hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases. So it's a great way for us to think about how we provide value to the owners that we need to serve. And I would say we haven't done as good a job as we should have with that. We rebooted our ambassador council, and so Caroline's in the room on our staff who leads that work. Our ambassadors are critical for us. You're going to hear Ambassador of the Year awarded later this evening. They are our bridge, right, between the chamber staff and our membership. They are volunteers. They don't get paid for this work, but they're key partners in what we do. So we've kind of rebooted that, and I think it will be really good going forward. And then we've expanded our partnerships. So last year we talked a little bit about this, but we signed an MOU with the Chattanooga Regional Manufacturers Association. That partnership for us has already led to some success around an economic development project and linking a company looking at Chattanooga for a new location with an existing business that's tied to CRMA. So that's doing exactly what we wanted it to do. And this is a great legacy organization. They were founded in 1902. We think it's going to be a phenomenal partnership going forward. Their board actually chose one of our team members, Carrie Beth Carrico, to serve as their executive director. So we are absolutely kind of linked and providing association management for that organization, and we think the path forward is going to be really good. We're continuing to work with Brickyard, which is a venture incubator here, and their goal is to invest in seed, early stage venture-backed companies, have them stay in Chattanooga for a year, and our goal is to have them stay longer. And so we work a lot with that group. Adam Myers on our economic development team is pretty focused on that. And then we've got a partnership with La Paz we're going to be talking about a bit more this year to really help us better connect our Latino business community with the chamber and the services we provide, as well as the services in our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And the last thing I want to talk about is a partnership with Proof that just was formatted. Marjorie Savage is in the room. She leads the incubator program in the Hamilton County BDC. And Proof, for those of you that don't know, provides entrepreneurial kind of support for a few different focus areas: food and beverage, restaurants, and consumer packaged goods. It was led and created by Mia Littlejohn and Mike Robinson. They have kind of built this into a pretty significant machine. They've run programs in New Orleans. They've run programs in Atlanta. They've run programs in Green Bay. So they are kind of scaling this beyond Chattanooga, but they will have effectively space in the Inc. to be able to provide support and kind of guidance for consumer packaged goods companies. And we see that as a path for those companies to end up in the Inc. and kind of partnered at the incubator. So we're excited about that partnership. That's brand new, and I'd say Marjorie really worked hard to make that happen pretty recently. So we're really excited about that. The second piece is around promoting regional and economic growth. These are the projects that were announced earlier this year. Our economic development team worked on these. You'll note every one of these is an existing business. And so I think it's really important to keep in mind that about 80% of all new job growth comes from companies that are already here. Now, we recruited Westar about 10 years ago. We had a lot of help from Senator Bo Watson and Gerald McCormick, who actually helped shift some things in state law to make that company be viable in Chattanooga. So they have 500 people. They're hiring another 200. Their payroll will be more than $50 million a year when they're all said and done, when they grow. So that's $50 million in new revenue. If you think about how the community works, right, that's $50 million in new money that comes into Chattanooga every year from that project. So as they've grown, we've benefited from that growth. They buy houses. If they buy a house, lots of people make money. Some of the people in this room make money. And that home builder makes some money. Maybe someone who works for him goes to buy a truck. Whoever sells that truck to him also makes money. He goes and spends that in another business. This is how you grow the pie. Our elected officials, they go through a really painful process of figuring out how you cut up the pie. The goal with this is you grow the pie. And so really excited about the projects we've announced this year. I think you're watching some economic headwinds out there, but so far it's been pretty good. And so these are some of our KPIs. You can read much more about them in the annual report. If you click on that QR code, it won't make you donate something to the chamber. It'll send you to our annual report. I won't berate a lot of these. I would just say one of them, one of our goals around the airport, I'm going to talk a bit about that in a minute. We had some unfortunate news this week, but I heard from Chip Baker, who serves on the airport board. We had a little bit of positive news, so I'm looking forward to that too. So, but we're doing pretty well on these. We're excited about them. Our board sees these as well as several others at every board meeting, so they know how we're doing. They know if it's good or bad. They know if we sandbag things. We evaluate if we need to up them, but we're pretty excited about that. So this was a big announcement this year. How many people, y'all raise your hands, how many people know about this? A few of y'all? So Chattanooga 2.0 lives under the Chamber Foundation umbrella. They worked with a number of partners here to create what is a college and career savings account that every single kindergartner and every 6th, 7th, and 8th grader are eligible for in Hamilton County schools. They will do that for 5 years. We've raised about $5.5 million towards about a $7 million goal for that. So not too shabby. Carrie Randolph is brilliant and has done a phenomenal job on this. Blue Cross Foundation invested in this. Benwood invested in this. City and County invested in this. A host of other partners have put resources into this work. This is how you generate economic mobility. And so here's why, right? And Dr. Ashford can tell you this, but kids who have between $100 and $500 in a college and career savings account are 3 times more likely to attend post-secondary school and 4 times more likely to graduate. So if you want to write a check, whether it's $100 or $100,000, you can click on that QR code. If you don't want to use Venmo for $100,000, call me. And you can learn more on the bottom one. But this program is so impactful. I think we are the first in the Southeast to do something like this. This launched in February. We're working through a lot of partnerships with the schools. We're asking our volunteers to talk about it. Pinnacle Bank has been a huge partner in this work. So we've got a lot of folks that are working on this. This is really important for us. UTC did a bunch of research for us. I'm going to be quick when I run through these slides. From this window, 2014 to 2023, our employment base in the metro 6-county area grew by 20%, 8 points better than the nation. And this is what success looks like. Almost every single demographic group in our region benefited. Almost every single demographic group in our region outpaced the national average. So whether you're black or white, male or female, almost every single education background all grew at a faster rate. The only one that didn't catch up is folks who have less than a high school diploma, and we shrunk the gap by 7 points between what the national average is. So this is what success looks like. So now the questions start. Are we done? We good? We call it a day? Probably not, right? So this is some data from a few census tracts. I'm not going to berate this. I'll tell you 2 things. One is, it doesn't matter whether you're in Soddy Daisy or East Ridge or Brainerd. There is opportunity that is needed that's out there. Folks live in those census tracts. They need them. So that's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I'll say is Census Tract 19, that poverty rate, that is not the highest poverty rate in a census tract in Hamilton County. So this is the next thing I'd tell you. This is all about opportunity, right? So we have about 3,000 students every year that graduate from Hamilton County Public Schools. About a third of those go straight into the workforce. UTC, I won't go into Chat State because some of those students matriculate up to UTC, but every year UTC graduates about 2,600 folks. What's the one thing those folks who walk across that stage want? They don't want a job, they want a career. And I'm learning to change my language around that. So, next hard question, are we creating opportunities for them? And this is the real hard question. And we're going to wrestle with this for a while. And we've got some really phenomenal elected leaders that are wrestling with this right now, and it's hard. But the question is, can we create opportunity without growth? Now, growth doesn't mean I get accused of being a member of the Pave the Earth Society. That is not true. First time Angie brought me to Tennessee, I spent my night in a tent in the Smoky Mountains. So we don't have to be members of the Pave the Earth Society, but we have to figure out how we create opportunity while we grow. We have done really hard things. This is the optimistic side of me, right? Chattanooga has literally changed our trajectory completely. This bridge, TDOT had funds pledged to tear this bridge down. They had approved it. We could have very easily been like, okay, TDOT's taking care of it, no worries. We didn't do that, right? This is what we did. We turned it into one of the jewels. If we have crown jewels, this is one of Chattanooga's crown jewels, right? We bring people together with this. We imagined something that didn't exist, that most people wouldn't imagine. We took what was a brown field and turned it to a green field. And this one is kind of my favorite story because I'm an economic developer, so I got to say it. But the city and county invested $50 million in cold hard cash to build that little cul-de-sac right there. They also put sewer and water and a bunch of other stuff before they ever knew that we would have manufacturing on that site. So they took that risk because we were at a place in our community where opportunity was scarce. We had lost a big economic development project. They said the site wasn't ready, and so they invested heavily in that. And we took what was a Superfund site that was used, get this, y'all think about this, it was used to manufacture explosives in World War II to go drop on Germany. And that irony is not lost on our friends at Volkswagen. Right? So I want you to think about the leaders, the people many of you know and have worked with, and some of them are in this room, that made this happen, right? Not just Volkswagen, downtown redevelopment. We reimagined who we were as a community. And so the question is, can we live up to that legacy, right? And I would tell you, we have the leaders in this room, absolutely, 100% can live up to this legacy. Now, is it going to be any easier than it was before? Probably not. Might be harder. And I would tell you it might be harder because we're not in the same spot. We're not in a crisis. And that makes it a lot easier to bring people together. I'm spending a good bit of time following kind of the folks who are reliving Chattanooga Venture history. And so if y'all know Eleanor Cooper, she was very involved in Chattanooga Venture and the planning that went into that. A lot of that was very much focused on the environment, how we embrace the river, how we think about Moccasin Bend, all of those things. And so it's such an incredible story. And the people in this room, they have everything and maybe a little more than the people had back then, right? I would tell you we have more resources, we have more capacity, we have more knowledge, and we know we've already done it. So I'm going to leave you with 4 ways you can help us, but I would just tell you that the folks who did this work, they did not think the future would take care of itself, and neither should we. So we got to lean in. I feel like there's economic headwinds coming. I think most of y'all can see some of that, but we got to get busy, and we got to solve big problems, and we got to work together to do it. And so here's a few ways y'all can help. Not all of them cost money. Number 1, please God, fly out of Chattanooga. Chip, can I get an amen?
Amen, brother.
All right. I would encourage y'all, if you have a policy in your business that says you fly whatever the cheapest flight is out of Atlanta or out of Nashville, that you at least add in the mileage you're going to reimburse that employee to that cost before you make that decision. So because if our airport is successful, that's going to make us that much more successful. We're going to be able to create more opportunities. Second, contribute to Chattanooga Future Fund. This is a big deal, y'all. I mean, again, I think we're the first in the Southeast to have done this. We have a goal around executive circle members. I know I've got a lot of folks who are already at that level that are in this room. It is one of our higher, more expensive levels, but there's some value that comes with it. We're trying to get to 140 over the next 4 years. I would love to do that this year. So, and I know Brad would too, because he loves a goal, because he's a sales guy. So email Ben, and we'll start that conversation. And the last is start talking about growth and opportunity. So most businesses in this room only grow if the community grows. So if you're in healthcare, you only grow if the community grows. If you're in retail, if you're in construction, if you're in banking, right? This is how you grow as the community grows. And so I'm asking you guys to start talking about it and what it means in terms of the opportunity you create for people here. So with that, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna run through a few videos, and I think are we gonna do C.D. Mitchell first, I think?
For more than 30 years, the Chattanooga Regional Manufacturers Association has honored leaders who have made outstanding contributions to our region's manufacturing industry with the C.D. Mitchell Award, named for our first president and a pioneer in our community's industrial growth. Past recipients have included governors and senators, but tonight we honor a leader whose impact is both personal and far-reaching. Debbie McKee Fowler is the embodiment of generational leadership, community commitment, and manufacturing excellence. As chairman of the board and executive vice president of McKee Foods, she leads with integrity. Her journey began in high school, working summers in environmental services and manufacturing lines, learning the business from the ground up. Over the years, she's held roles in human resources, transportation, and manufacturing before rising to the company's top leadership. Debbie has also shared her expertise with organizations across the country, serving on the boards of the United Way of Greater Chattanooga, Amazing Facts, and Holbrook Indian School, among others. Her dedication to people and purpose mirrors the values her family built McKee Foods upon, treating others with honesty, fairness, and respect. And perhaps the most iconic fact of all, Debbie is the inspiration behind one of America's most beloved snack brands. At just 4 years old, her grandfather, O.D. McKee, chose her image to represent a brand that now reaches millions. Little Debbie, for her leadership, her legacy, and her love for this community, CRMA proudly presents the 2025 C.D. Mitchell Award to Debbie McKee Fowler.
So I want to say a couple things, and we've got a couple other videos we're going to show. I want to say a couple things, and I know Representative Greg Vital knows McKee family really well. You will not be surprised when I tell you, you know she hated this. Like, this is so not her, right? She's so humble and such an incredible servant. And so, like, we were like, would you come? And KB asked her, work through Chris, and like, would you come? And she came up on stage and accepted and said a few words, but we loved being able to give this to her. So we've had a number of incredible leaders that have received this. It kind of fell off from CRMA, and so this year we brought it back for the first time in a long time. I think Wayne Kropp is here. He was part of the inspiration for that, so really excited about that. We're going to show a couple more videos. Before those kind of get started, I want to say this. So we are a business organization, right? That's who we are. I showed you a bunch of data, and that's real, and it's important that we serve our members and our businesses. But at the heart of everything we do are people, right? Individuals that benefit when you create opportunity. And so we're going to try and do a better job of telling that story and making sure those stories get told. And we've got a couple videos we're going to show you that'll help do that.
Well, I started my business 4 years ago as a food truck, and now we're a restaurant. So we just opened up to a restaurant, and the challenges has been kind of hard coming from a sales rep going into a restaurant or food truck industry. The biggest challenge I would say I have to have is having the money, the funding. That has been the biggest challenge to open anything up. But it has worked out for us pretty well. We was able to finance everything on our own and get it started. I remember meeting Darian Scott from the Chamber of Commerce, and I was like, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. So he put me in this program and they helped me with everything. Like literally he helped me with banking. He brought in Regency Bank she taught us classes about our financial statement, our business statement. And then he brought other people in to talk about opening up different accounts, or a lawyer that never thought I would need a lawyer. We had Vincent come in to coach us on how to speak in front of people and how to talk with people. We had different people from HR to come in. Even though I already had the truck open, I didn't have a business plan. And when they sat down with me, they was like, no, you need an execution plan because you've been in business, like you did it already. So it has helped me tremendously. And I love that I can still call on them after I'm finished the program and say, hey, I need help, can you still help me? And they still come through and they help me. So honestly, I don't think I would have did as well as I'm doing without the program, because I was very lost. But when I sat in that program, it was stuff like, oh, I didn't know this, and they helped me figure it all out. Oh, we're doing really good. To just open up a restaurant, we have been doing phenomenal. Our sales have been great every day that we've been open up. We're on the radio, we're on social media, people have shouted us out on the news, and people are coming, it's like, hey, we heard this is the restaurant to be at, this is the place you're gonna be at. So we're actually doing amazing right now.
iFixit is the free repair manual for everything. We're an online wiki of repair information showing people how to fix their devices. So this is anything from a cell phone or a laptop to a washing machine or an e-bike.
So that was how iFixit was on my radar, and I thought it was a really cool mission. And then I was finished up that program, and I knew their office wasn't here, so I wasn't even really looking for a job, but it lined up perfectly where they had just moved, had just opened, and were hiring technical writers here right when I finished that program. So that was really great. So having this job is a great opportunity to work on my technical writing skills, because that's one of my goals, is to be a better technical writer, just kind of developing that career.
So the Chattanooga Chamber was critical from the very beginning. The very first time we came into Chattanooga, we had no clue what we were doing, really no contacts in Chattanooga at all. Reached out cold to the Chamber. They were super welcoming, taking us around, showing us the sites in Chattanooga, and actually helped us find the particular building we're in today.
But also at the same time that I'm doing like good work and making a good living, it's still like supporting a mission, which is to teach everyone to fix everything. And we want to do that because we're trying to reduce e-waste, we're trying to reduce overconsumption, trying to conserve the resources that we have. And so it's nice to have like a job that's good and rewarding in itself, like it's a good, challenging job to do, but it also supports a really good mission.
Good evening. My name is Jay Dale, and I'm the market president at First Horizon Bank. Don't do that. And it's been my distinct honor and privilege to serve as the chair of the Chamber Board this past year. And when you're past chair, you don't have to put on a tie, so I didn't do the tie thing. I think I joked before, and I say this often, I'm like obnoxiously proud of Chattanooga, like my family will tell you, and my daughters are here. When I travel, I'm always like, have you been in Chattanooga? Do you like mountains? Do you like river? Do you like Little Debbie's? You should come to Chattanooga and visit. And so I'm always saying that. And we've got a board that shares that same pride. We've got several board members here tonight. Charles has already recognized them, but they have dedicated countless hours to help our city thrive. And so I'd like to give them another round of applause as well to all the Chamber board members. If you've ever served on a board and an executive committee and maybe chair, one thing you learn to appreciate is how hard the staff works. You really see that firsthand. And I tell you, we are truly blessed to have Charles as our CEO. We were talking like every night or every week. He doesn't call me as much now, but let me tell you, he wakes up every day thinking about how can he make Chattanooga prosper and thrive for all Chattanoogans. And he says that all the time. But he would quickly say he's got a great staff. And I'm going to take a chance here on saying a few names, but his leadership team, Yolanda, Adam, Ben, Jeremy, Lake, and Carrie Beth, and several others. So if you wouldn't mind, would the chamber staff please rise? Everybody on the chamber, works for the chamber, please rise. Several. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank y'all for what y'all do. So I wanted to recognize them because there have been some amazing accomplishments this past year. Charles mentioned a few of them, but we had more than $1 billion with a B in capital investment. We had more than $4 million in venture capital awarded Chattanooga startups. Minority and women-owned businesses bringing in nearly $1 million in new revenue with our support. Around 100 chamber members have stepped up to the executive circle level, and over 5,000 attendees at chamber events like the one here tonight. Can we give those accomplishments a round of applause as well? All right, now it is my distinct privilege and honor to present the Ambassador of the Year. The Chamber's work wouldn't be possible without the tireless effort of our volunteers. The Chamber's Ambassador program consists of an elite group of professionals who are highly visible volunteers in the Chattanooga business community. Ambassadors assist in member retention efforts, recruiting and mentoring new members. Ambassadors also assist at ribbon cuttings and other chamber events. And each year, the chamber recognizes an astounding ambassador for going above and beyond. And this year's Chattanooga Chamber Ambassador of the Year is Constance Kaufman. Constance has been a dedicated chamber volunteer since 1989. She started when she was 10 years old, she told me. And she embodies the spirit of service and commitment that defines our ambassador program. Over the years, she has reached diamond level ambassador status not once, not twice, 3 times, president over the Southside Council, and earned chamber dignitary status in 2015. Her long-standing involvement reflects not only her personal dedication, but also the vital role our ambassadors play in welcoming members, strengthening connections, and advancing the Chamber's mission. Constance's leadership and tireless volunteerism set a shining example of what it means to be Ambassador of the Year. Constance, please come to the stage and recognize your award. Accept your award. Thank you again, Constance, for all you do for the Chamber as an ambassador. And now I would like to welcome to the stage your new board chair for this upcoming year, my good friend, Brad Cobb.
Thank you. And don't go anywhere. Hang on one second. Before you get off the stage, we have a few things to talk about. So, First Horizon, everybody knows that First Horizon is so generous and so great to Chattanooga. And one of the tenets that I teach to my kids and the staff I work with is, it's not what you do when people are watching, it's what you do when people aren't watching. And I have to say that Jay is one of the most incredible givers to our community and does so much behind the scenes, does so many volunteer work, different things, and just can't say thank you enough for all you did, your help. Yeah, you got to look at this. That's his character that you might ought to tell what everything is real quick.
I'll say a few things. So we've got a couple of projects here that he worked on. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. I still have my mic on, but and we do this if you're a past. We got several past chairs we've given these to. So it's a new tradition that we've tried to start. And so they leave with a bottle of Chat whiskey because our friends at Chat Whiskey are our friends. Even though Jay's got like a whole room full of bourbon.
How did you know?
That's right. But we try to highlight some of the projects we have that our past chair was involved with. And so the West Star expansion, we've got a nice Gulf Stream up there for you. You can't fly it, but you can see it. And a few other projects we've got. And for those of you that know Jay, he is a huge Mocs fan. He is a North Carolina fan. He is a cruiser in a big way. So all those things kind of blend into this with a few projects. So.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. Incredible giver to the community, to Chattanooga, to the Mocs, just so many things. So once again, good evening, and thanks for all your hard work. So I'm humbled and honored to be this year's chair. I was born in Chattanooga 57 years ago, and for the most part, I've lived here my whole life. It's a little bit of a digression here. So with this lottery at like $1.5 billion, everybody asks all those fun questions, what would you buy, where would you live? And I can honestly say that if I was asked that question, if I won that lottery, I would live here in Chattanooga. I believe that this is one of the greatest communities, and I love this city. There's not a better community anywhere. The outdoor opportunities, diverse business community, the philanthropic nature of our citizens, and the common goal of making Chattanooga better makes this such a unique place to work, raise kids, recreate, and enjoy life. Fortunately, and some argue unfortunately, sorry, Jay's a little taller than me. Some argue that we're growing too fast or not the right way because there's so many folks that want to move to our community and so many things we're trying to achieve. Growth is very important to me, and as Charles already alluded to in his words, it's something we have to wrestle with. I've been blessed to travel a good bit in my life, and I've seen all kinds of growth in different communities, and some are doing it really well, and some are failing miserably. But we as a chamber need to advocate for responsible growth in education, industry, housing, infrastructure, and green spaces. By helping foster healthy debate, we can move our wonderful city in the right direction by adding a robust talent pipeline combined with ready sites and well-planned infrastructure. We must continue to have conversations with residents, businesses, prospects, government leaders, and our local business owners to retain our small town feel and drive our growth. As we all know, and as Charles alluded to, development is a major component that powers our local economy, and we must keep it running. However, that does not mean we can't take an active role in steering it. So in closing, I'd like to profoundly thank the members of the Chamber Board for allowing me to lead this incredible organization. And I also like to thank Charles and his amazing staff for all their hard work and all the accomplishments. As I said earlier, I absolutely love Chattanooga, and I will do all I can to make it the best community possible and keep it moving forward. And now it is my privilege to present the Council of the Year. The Chattanooga Chamber's councils are the backbone of the Chamber's volunteer presence. The councils support businesses in specific geographic areas and business sectors within our community, providing opportunities for members to solve problems, discuss issues, and support events and civic projects that benefit the council's footprint. These councils are crucial to the Chamber's work, and this year, one council built upon last year's work to positively impact their community. This year's winner connects local businesses to one another and to their community, strengthening relationships and driving meaningful impact. More than just networking, this council worked hard this year to engage local educators, elected officials, and business leaders. This council is powered entirely by dedicated volunteers who live, work, or do business in East Ridge. For their hard work and dedication to the Chamber's mission, please join me in congratulating our 2025 Council of the Year, the East Ridge Council. And if I can ask Amy Silvers and Julie Tyler. Amy and Julie, are you here? I don't see anybody moving. Oh, I see somebody moving. I see movement. Thank you again. Let's give them a round, East Ridge Council, another round of applause.
I am the only thing standing between you and the bar opening. So I hope y'all enjoyed tonight. It's a little different. I want to give a shout out to Melissa Wallace on our team. She's our events manager who put this together. One of the things that we've tried to institute, and this is really hard because we're Southerners and we're all really polite, but we've tried to institute what is called radical candor on our team. So later, after this event, you're going to get an email that asks you what you thought of it, because this is very different. I don't know, you may really love the thumbs up chicken at the luncheons, and so let us know. So we're gonna send you that. Please respond back to that. Again, annual report is on that QR code on the table. Thank you again. We have such great partners. Our members have been incredible and great supporters. Thank EPB again for all their support and being the presenting sponsor, and all of our other sponsors. So thank you so much for that. And then to our elected officials, we have a great slate of elected officials here, y'all. I'm honored to get to work with them every day. And so if you all give them one last round of applause, and then with that, I think they'll open the bars. I didn't know I had that much power. So y'all have a great night. Thank you so much.